honestly been struggling to film so much today. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm not vibing. Great. Thank you. Hello book reading friends, my name is Melanie and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's subject, we're going to be talking about Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. However, I am going to point out my likes and dislikes for this book, as I always do in non-spoiler reviews. Don't forget to subscribe down below for more bookish content. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter for a more everyday look into my life that you don't get to see here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's get reviewing. Red, White, and Royal Blue follows the first son of the United States called Alex Claremont Diaz. Yes, we share a last name, and yes, he is half Latino. And then Prince Henry of the British royal family. Now, these two have had this rivalry, enemy situation going on for years. Once they make a public display that happens very early on in the book of this hatred or rivalry, they are asked by both of their PR teams to stage a friendship in order to appease the media and basically lead everyone to think that they're the best of buddies. However, the conflict kicks in the form of feelings and romance, as it usually does, and I personally lived for it. This book provides a lot of political escapism because the elections in 2016 did not go as they went on in real life. In this book, we get a female president, which was very refreshing to read about, and now she is going through a re-election, which is part of the conflict in this book. We start out the book and Alex is 21 in Georgetown and he's studying, I believe, international relations or something relating to political science. He has a sister called June and a best friend called Nora, and together they make one of the best trios I've ever seen, or read about rather, in books. They were so funny and their dynamics were so great. They were an awesome support system from Alex all throughout the book, and it was just so heartwarming. I adored Alex's relationship with his mom and his dad and his stepdad, and of course his sister, which I already talked about. We need more supportive parents in books. We don't get that enough. I think we always get the overly problematic parents who are very against what their child is doing and they're not supportive at all and they are there for conflict. But I think it was very refreshing to see a book in which the parents were just there for the characters, thoroughly supporting them. Then on the other hand, we have Prince Henry, who at the beginning of the book seems very cocky and overbearing and just overall a douchebag. He's already graduated college. He's older than Alex. He studied English literature. The way that played out in the book was incredible. And he is second in line for the throne. His grandmother is the current Queen of England. There was a lot of fun and games in this book, which I personally appreciated because it gave us enough story, it gave us enough to go through in order to get to that climax and for us to really feel it. I think it was very well paced out. Of course, this is a queer new adult novel, so you can imagine the LGBTQIA+ representation in the book is absolutely incredible. However, I think one of my issues with the book is Alex being Latino. I think Alex is Latino just for the sake of being Latino. It doesn't really add anything to the plot. It doesn't add anything for the conflict. It doesn't add anything to the storyline. There are some classic stereotypical comments made in the book. I think if you completely omit him being Latino, it absolutely changes nothing. A lot of those times where that was being mentioned, it was a lot of telling instead of showing. Like, he had a hard time being half Mexican, and it's like, okay, you're telling me, but I wish you would have shown me those moments in which it was a hardship for him and he had to overcome that, and now he's proud of his half Mexican side, because Alex just behaves as your typical white dude. Then we get the typical one-liners from Latinos, which we get not only in books but in movies as well, which is an entire line in English and then one word in Spanish. If something is just there for the sake of being there, for being diverse, for being inclusive, but nothing relevant happens that includes that, why is it there in the first place? I am not quite sure if the dynamics of a royal crown in this book are accurate or not, because obviously I am not British. I am nowhere near being British, but I still enjoyed it. Like, it was still enjoyable to read about a prince and the British royal family. Another thing for me that was a bit confusing with the writing style, I guess, was the chapter length. I felt like these chapters were very, very long for a novel. Not only that, but because the chapters were so long, they had so many scenes fitted into one chapter that the transitions in between them sometimes felt odd and confusing and just out of place. So I think the placement of some of these transitions, again, was odd and it threw me off at times. Overall, I would give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It was such an enjoyable read. It was so lighthearted and heartwarming, and I think my main issue with this book came with the misrepresentation and just some aspects in regards to writing that were a little bit confusing. Beside that, the book was very much enjoyable and I would recommend you picking it up. It's very rom-com-y, coming of age. If you enjoy any of that, this book is for you. If you have read this book, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it, or if you haven't read it, let me know if you're looking forward to reading this book, although I think everyone and their mother has read this book by this point because it's not really new. But all the same, let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. I'll leave all those links down below as well. Get on that. You don't want to miss out on all that great content. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.